The Schwarzman Animal Medical Center Hospital of New York City is the world's largest veterinary teaching hospital and New York's only level 1 trauma center. It just opened, welcoming patients, dogs, cats, and other small animals 24/7. With me is Helen, Irving, the CEO and president of the Animal Medical Center. So tell me about this. It sounds like quite a facility.
Yeah,
What's
thank
going on
you.
there?
It is the largest animal hospital in the U.S. We see about 55,000 visits a year, and it has absolutely everything that you would find in a regular hospital for humans. And so what recently opened was a brand new surgical suite. It's an entire floor with state-of-the-art, what's called integrated operating rooms that any hospital would be proud of. We have 5 new operating rooms with a trauma OR coming online later in the year, and a brand new recovery area, as well as an anesthesia prep area for all of the animals that need specialty surgery.
Yeah, well, that was one thing when I was doing a little research, just how state-of-the-art everything is. There's also, let me see, radiology, there's surgical oncologists, laparoscopic procedures. I gotta slow down when I say that. So
yeah, we also have CT scan, MRI. We have a linear accelerator for when animals need radiation therapy as well.
Yeah.
So we have the full array of cancer services as well as surgical services. Very proud of minimally invasive techniques that we do. And the new surgical suites actually, in all of the lights that we have over the surgical field, they all have cameras. And so now we can teach much more effectively across the country and even across the world if we're doing surgery.
Interesting.
Which is great. Our residents can even be outside and not actually be in the room, or preferably in the room now that we've got larger operating rooms.
I was going to ask about that. There's a teaching aspect as well.
Yeah,
so
huge
for
teaching.
veterinary students, and as you mentioned, people can learn remotely now.
Yep.
We've got ways to do that. So.
Yeah, and we can partner with other surgeons, right, on difficult cases as well. So.
Now, will this be like a regional? Will people be bringing their animals from all over the region, U.S. perhaps, to have treated?
We already see people coming from across the country, particularly for interventional radiology treatment. We're one of the few centers in the country that have a superb surgical team doing those procedures, as well as we're now seeing people come from Texas and from the West Coast. You know, there's very few high-end specialty hospitals, even on the East Coast. So, and being that we're open 24/7, so that's
so
the
it's
big
super
difference.
convenient if there's an emergency.
Yep.
You know where you can go. Now, I know you've only been open for a few weeks, but have you had any stories about how you've treated animals, like something kind of revolutionary or different that's happened?
Not yet, but we're booking them in. We had, at our opening, we saw one of the dogs that came back who actually was born with his paws faced out the wrong way. And so Dr. Schwartz was able to put in a guide and turn the paw around. So now he walks properly on one paw. And now we're just about to do the other surgery, so that will be done in our new OR suite as well. And one of the police dogs that joined us for the press event, actually, he came back and visited because he had to have a recheck and he had to have his sutures out with Dr. Spector, so he came back as well.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of foreign bodies, and dogs eat strange things, very strange things, that actually either need to be removed endoscopically by putting a tube down, or unfortunately, if they have to have full surgery, then those we see in our surgical suite as well. And of late, a lot more fractures. I think with the ice on the road as well, we've been seeing a lot more of those.
Same kind of things you see in people.
Absolutely, it's exactly the same. A lot of shoulder injuries as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And the hospital's kind of designed to be calming, right, for the animals?
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
So it will be calming when we're finished. Right now the 7th floor is extremely calming. A lot of light, a lot of peace and quiet. We do keep the cats and dogs separated because cats don't like a lot of noise. And even in our oncology suite, if animals are having chemotherapy, we have a quiet room for them. And we also have kennels that have doors on now to keep the dogs from barking too loudly outside in an open space. So as dogs wake up from anesthesia quite often, you know, they howl. So we can put them in a quiet space. And we have something that's called the beach. And the beach is a long mattress where animals actually recover after anesthesia curled up together with a big warming blanket over them, and the techs will sit next to them until they've woken up.
Yeah, how interesting.
Yeah.
Have you noticed, because COVID, the big thing was adopting animals, have you noticed more people kind of going, okay, maybe this wasn't such a great idea, I have to go back to the office? Has that impacted your business
Not
at
so
all?
much for us, because we are specialties, so people are usually committed to the animals when they come to see us. I do know that from the work we do with our rescue groups, they are seeing an influx of animals that they're the ones seeing that end of people saying, oh, this was a mistake, right? But you know, if we look at something like 66% of American households have pets today. Something like Forbes reported, something like 70% of those animals were acquired in COVID. So that's a huge increase in animal ownership, right? And our younger generations, they're much more into animal ownership than we are of our age group. So we are seeing them actually take not only cats and dogs, but now we're seeing a lot more in exotics. You know, parrots, bearded dragons are very popular. We've got turtles. We have ducks coming in to see us as well. We take care of those as well. Yep. Yep. So, you know, I just say that, you know, it's anything that's got 4 legs and a beak.
Yeah.
You know?
So what's the future then? Is there anything, and I know you just opened, but are you thinking, okay, down the road we'd like to add this or this? Anything?
So down the road, moving the operating rooms, opening that new suite enables us now to completely gut renovate our emergency room and our intensive care unit. And so by the end of 2024, early 25, we will have actually doubled the size of the hospital, doubled the number of cages that we have, which means that we can care for more and more animals. You know, our critical care unit is always full, so we need to expand that service. We need to expand our emergency services as well as our surgical services as well. So we're growing and growing very rapidly to keep up with this unprecedented demand.
Yeah. Okay, Helen, thank you so much for coming and sharing this. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks.